Hello lovelies, thank you for joining me here on Deep Skin. Today I'm going to be showing you how I do my everyday makeup look. And if you are interested in figuring out how to go about and doing this for yourself, please stay tuned. I always lay down a towel or something to keep from dropping makeup on my vanity and having to clean it up later, as well as covering up with a robe. This is the foundation that I'm currently using. I do change it up from time to time, but I have found that I do like it. It may seem like it's too light for my skin when I first put it on thick and opaque, but I only need that one pump to do all of my face because I really only concentrate makeup in the center of my face. I don't put it on my entire face. And again, while it does seem like it might be too light, I want to bring in lightness and I want to bring in brightness. So I cannot use a foundation that is an exact match and then I won't be able to have that brightness underneath of my eye that I am trying to go for. And so with that being said, I do go a little lighter, but I do blend it and sheer it out a little bit. I do not allow it to stay opaque. And as you see, as I continue to blend, it doesn't seem as obvious that it is bright. I do have some hyperpigmentation around my mouth, so just a little bit goes around my mouth, but I mainly concentrated under my eyes, on the sides of my nose, and down the center of my nose. And right now the light is rather bright, but I will turn it down just a little bit so that you can get a real actual look of what the lighting is and what it looks like on me. And there you go. The light has been turned down, and see how once you blend it in, it's just brightness added. I then go in with a powder foundation in order to set it. And this is called Chocolate. It's by Black Radiance, as you can see. And I love this shade. It is good. And I only put it in those areas where I put the foundation. I put the two together and I concentrate in the center of the face only, not just in the T-zone, but the entire center of my face. Now, depending on your face shape, that will determine how you should highlight. But for me, it's in the center. And I'm concentrating it mainly in the center of my face, which most people will call the T-zone, but I'm doing more than a T-zone because I'm getting next to the nose, on the entire nose, eyelids, the entire center of my face. Everywhere that I put the liquid foundation except for under the mouth. So the only place I did not put this foundation is on the perimeter of my face. But the entire center has this lighter shade of foundation. And now I will take my darker shade of foundation, again powder, and a flat brush as well. This is by IT Cosmetics. I tend to always go for a flat head brush when it comes to doing my powder foundations. The truth be told, I do it to stipple on liquid foundation as well for some clients, but personally, I love a flat brush. I use this buffing style brush for all of the powder foundation. And this goes underneath. Even though I put the lighter shade on my chin with the liquid foundation, I use the darker shade of powder foundation under the chin. I do not cover it with that lighter shade. And that just makes sure it gets blended up into that lighter shade. Because naturally my face is more than one shade. I am not one color all over. My forehead is the darkest place on my entire face. So with that being said, I prefer to have a dark shade for my forehead, which is this color in Ebony. And I'm going light pretty much. I'm using a very light hand when working with my forehead. I just don't want heavy foundation on my forehead, that's all. And I don't need that much coverage, so I don't see the purpose of going heavy-handed. And so now you have the foundation on. I use a liquid foundation or a concealer under the eye, down the nose, and then the hyperpigmentation around my mouth. You can either use a concealer or you can use a liquid foundation like what I did. Because I don't have that much discoloration, I found that a concealer is just a little too heavy for me. I don't need that much coverage, and so I just won't. Next, I will be using this palette, and I'm going to go in with this darkest shade from the Smashbox palette called Halo. I think this shade is called Chocolate, if I'm not mistaken. I could be incorrect. And I'm going to use an angled brush. If you can see, that's on an angle, it's not straight across. And then what it'll do is make it so that when it goes to contouring my nose, I don't have to do the most. It's already on an angle for me. Let me see if I can turn this down at all. And then I use the rest to put into my transition area of my eye. Again, it's only in the transition area. As you can see, my brush, I'm not focusing on the lid. I'm focusing right here in the crease of my eye. I'm not on the brow bone. I'm just in the crease, and that connects to down my nose. And that allows you to have a natural contour. Again, on this side, it's already an angled brush. And because the color is not like very dark, causing a harsh contrast, it makes it so that I could just go right on down. And then again, right in that crease. And just windshield wipe it back and forth. Connecting your transition with your nose really helps to make your contour look more natural. And down the nose. And that's how I contour my nose. I then will highlight my face, and I'm going to go in with this gold shade. And I'm joining it with a highlighting brush. This color is called Treat Yourself. It's a highlighting powder. I like to put it across my nose, down my nose, so all the places I put a highlighter. My inner tear duct, all with this one brush. I then take another brush. This is by E.L.F. and it's called a blush brush by E.L.F. Old School. Again, with that gold shade, and I highlight my upper cheekbones going into the brow bone. I then take my blush brush, and it's some no-name brush. I've had this for years. I don't know exactly who made it. And I'll do a blend of the two, but I mainly stick with the red shade more so because I am deep skinned. And so with that being said, it just works best for me to use this shade, the pink shade. Red, actually. It's a more so cherry red shade. And I'm just putting this on the apples of my cheek and up into my hairline. Next, I'm going to line my lips, and I like to use a very deep shade. I overline ever so slightly on top and then just go along with my natural line everywhere else. Now, just for some reason, I never do the bottom here, but everywhere else gets it. And then not only that, but I like to let this set before I add a lipstick to it. Again, I'm going to overline a little bit. My lips are not dry. Earlier, I put on some Vaseline, and I just make sure I'm not dry anywhere. I love a rounded lip like Lauryn Hill, you know, and I love the fullness. That's why I cover my Cupid's bow just a little bit. I'm kind of erasing my Cupid's bow a little bit. I'm going to turn it down just a little. And now I'll go with the rest of my natural line. This really helps for me to have a fuller looking lip. I don't have thin lips, but I like a fuller look. Again, I took away that Cupid's bow. And then I stayed with my natural line. And then here, I will just go on with a natural line down bottom. And again, that's just the corners. I never do that center. I'll let that sit for a little bit before I add any lipstick or lip gloss. Normally I wear a lip gloss, but today I am going to put on a lipstick. Next, I will just brush my eyebrows. I like for my eyebrows to go straight up. This has just a slight tint to it. It's not very obvious. But I brush them upward and use my finger to just press them in place. And that's the difference that you see. I no longer go for such a precise brow. I like a more natural look. This is by far the best mascara I have ever used in my entire life. I can't remember which YouTuber I saw use it, but I love the results. And it comes with like a two-step system. So the first step is this white mascara that you would put on, and that helps lengthen the lashes. And then afterwards you apply this one. I used to do it. I no longer do the white part. I just don't think I need that much. Again, less is best for me. And so I no longer do that part. But this, you can also purchase it by itself. You do not have to purchase it as a two-step system. But I have been wearing this mascara for over a year now. And it is by far the best mascara I have ever used. I love this mascara. And I like a thick look to my eye mascara. Personally, I do. And I'm literally putting mascara on the tops and bottoms. So right now I'm going underneath of the lashes. But first I went on top of the lashes. I like a nice heavy coat. And I do like for them to clump together. I do not like the wispied spread out look. Clump them just a little bit. Not completely, but just a little bit. Next, I will add a lipstick, and this is a matte lipstick. I thought it was a nice looking nude based off this color, and as you can see, this is not the same thing as this, but it still works out. I got it from like a pack of lipsticks that I found at a Marshall's. It's just some no-name brand pack of lipsticks, and they were all matte shades, and this one I have found to like the best out of the whole pack. And so I'm going to add this to my lip. And if I feel that it's giving too much brightness, I can always tone it down. I mean, right now it's not bad, but I can tone it down by just adding just a little bit more of this. And this is not actually a lip liner. This is a lipstick. and it's made by Maybelline. The color is called Protector, and I think it's a matte, and it's so pigmented. So I thought it would be awesome for like a lip liner for me. And so here is the finished result of the lip. I sometimes do add a gloss, and then I'll add a gloss, and this is optional, I don't have to. But this is called Fortune Cookie, and it's made by NYX. And this is their butter gloss. Not too much. And then I immediately wash my hands because I always get makeup on my hands, transfer it to my clothing, always wash my hands before I take off my robe. But first I'm going to go ahead and put away all this makeup. And that's how you do it. It takes me about 8 minutes to do my makeup. I've gotten to a place now where I try my best to do the least. I used to stand in front of the mirror for 40 minutes whenever I did my makeup. Now I've gotten it all the way down to 8 minutes because I do less, as you can see. It took a little bit longer because I'm explaining it along the way, but I time myself. When I'm on my way to church, I'm always timing it like, you got less than 10 minutes to get this makeup done and out the door. And I like the way that it looks. My husband likes how he gets to see more of me, so it's less, you know, transformation. And then also I like the fact that, first of all, it saves time. And then second of all, because again, you're not transforming yourself. You can still look like yourself when you go to do your makeup. But I thank you guys for watching. If you're interested in seeing more of this type of information, please, 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 share in the comment section exactly what it is that you would like to see. And then also let me know what you like to do with your makeup. If you're just doing like an everyday look, what are some of the staples that you're like, look, I always have to do this. For a lot of people, it's lipstick. They're like, I can just go with a bare face, just some lipstick. Me, I think it's more so mascara. I love mascara. I think that once you make those eyes look sweet, then that's it. The whole entire look seems to be complete as long as you have some mascara. And then also a concealer or something underneath of the eye. I would want that. But that's just me. If you have not already, please hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting on? And then also give me a thumbs up. I appreciate you guys watching. I hope you have a great one. Take care. Bye-bye.